Bill recently had some plumbing work done in the ladies' room because it was drip dripping. We've had signs put up in several places. The one I like most is I put one down by the beach that basically says that this beach is maintained by volunteers, and if you're, can help, grab a rake. So we've always had a rake, and people have been helping. We've also had a young man, Becky's grandson, I don't know what Becky is. She's back there. Her grandson Christopher has been my dead catfish. Yay. Let's see what else. Signs. Put in your gate, which I will talk about in a minute. Let's see, we've got slag for all the roads. Bill. Yep. Bill and James and Sam have done a phenomenal job doing all of our slag for the roads. Let's see, we bought a new shed for Lynn, because poor Lynn has had to store all of her stuff up in the attic and drag it up and down, drag it up and down. So we've got her a shed for all of her things. We've done a lot of fixing of equipment in the barn. You and James and Sam have replaced many things with the tractor. We've actually bought a new lawnmower. The reason we bought a new lawnmower is because the guys have been phenomenal and we cut down on our maintenance, rerouting, because they are mowing every time. So thanks for that. Of course, the pier is phenomenal. That's, if you think about it, part of the vitriol that has been out there is how much money that has been spent in the past year. We've spent about a little over $140,000 just on this stuff. But anybody who doesn't work on their house knows that's not a bad price. When you see how much we have done for that amount of money, and despite what everybody thinks, we are not going broke. We have well over $100,000 still in the bank. Traditionally, there has been, the goal has always been to have like $80,000 in reserve. So we certainly have that and more. So please put the word out to the community. We are not broke.
If you keep doing all these improvements, you're going to make it really easy for the next administration.
Yes, we are. But really,
It does look really nice.
Yeah. What else is to be done? Well, let's circle back to my gate. Now, the gate, I will admit, I did not have a full buy-in from my team, and I do apologize to my team and to you for that. I am a landscape designer. I have visions that sometimes other people don't see. The purpose for the gate is to have people come down that main road and have a lovely landscaped entrance with a sign that says clubhouse, so that your guests and your family do not get lost. Because I sit out there working there and you see all the people who come for events, they don't know how the heck to get in here. On top of that, as much as, Bill and these guys are really good about keeping the barn neat, the barn is not necessarily the most attractive thing or the welcoming entrance to the clubhouse. So the idea is the maintenance will have their entrance and guests will have another entrance. The cool thing about that gate is going forward, if you have the funding for it, it has the ability to have a solar
panel with a level motor and a push button to get in.
Right, so we ordered the gate that has the ability to upgrade, so instead of having to manually move it, you will be able to push a button, whether it's a code or, I can't remember how Alphamar sent. So that is something, that's another phase of that. And we have a landscape. Some people have broached the concept that we're taking down trees to do this. Well, that's not true also. Both Sam and Bill and I have looked and we put the fence in such a place that it goes right between two crepe myrtles and right between two pine trees. There are no trees coming down for the new entrance. Again, I sometimes have visions in my head that not everybody sees, but that's probably because of my background. The hope in doing that is then to also do landscaping around this building, which is the next phase. We've got the hardscape done, as we call it. The next is to do some decorative trees and shrubs in front of the clubhouse, work on this area out there, because my thought is it's a beautiful place for a wedding or things like this for your family members. I myself have a granddaughter getting married next spring. While that date has changed, she was going to use the clubhouse and get married here. Now, because of a little oops, she's getting married this fall. So, Lynn has had a couple people have weddings here. I just see maybe an arbor, maybe some nice trees and perennials, a perennial garden. So that would be the next phase. Let's see, what else was I going to say? Again, let me thank some of my volunteers. volunteers. First of all, James Bunn helps Bill out all the time. I always see James outside. He's the gentleman who smokes the pipe and has a cute little toxin. I don't know what we would have done without him. He works great with Bill and Sam. Melissa Larson, who was working in our office, she has been so fantastic. When we lost our treasurer, she was the person that stepped in and has been working on all of our books, our AMAs. She has worked tirelessly on doing that. For a variety of reasons, she has been asked to step away from that position, so you will no longer be seeing her in the office. But I just want to do a public thank you to her. She's, one of my best buddies, pretty good. I want to thank Colleen and Dana Nichols. They took on the newsletter. Up until this point, pretty much I have been the newsletter, which is another, just something else on my list. But they have taken it over, and I thought they did a pretty small job.
Yeah.
I'd also like to thank my friend Susan. She's the one, she and I are your window decorating team. We did the murals, we do the windows. We're gonna be doing the fall windows, this week. Let's see. Now, people are, we know about the silly letter. I would like to acknowledge the things that we as a team, and I myself have not done. One of the criticisms is that we did not get 3 quotes for some of our projects. Now, as far as the trees are concerned, Barry Bagley has been taking down the trees in this community for years. Do I get 3 quotes? Do I ask other people? No. And I don't do that because Barry quotes us a phenomenal price. I think Sam can testify to the fact that he cuts us a great deal. He said he's thankful because Arrowhead was the reason he got into this business. He started off working here in Arrowhead, doing things for here. And so where he might charge $1,000 to you for a tree, he cuts it way back for us. So do I go and talk to other people? No. Let's see, in our cement, we use 4 Cs. One of the reasons we use 4 Cs is because, as Bill and I know, they're wonderful to work with, and they do a great job. So do we want to go out and, could I go out and get other bids? Absolutely. But you don't know. Sometimes I feel it's important to work with contractors you have confidence in the quality of their work.
Amen.
It's sometimes, it's not, could we find something less expensive? Sure. So if we put it out to a bidding process and somebody was less, we can go with them, but we're not going to be 100% sure of the quality of their work. So that's it. Bill.
Cheap isn't always better.
No, seriously.
Never.
Bill Bonds, that's his name correctly? The gentleman who did the windows?
Yep.
All right. Did I get more than 1 quote on doing the windows? Absolutely not. And the reason was, we had a small window, no pun intended, of time in which to get these windows replaced between Lynn's events. And I talked to a lot of contractors and they were not able to do it in the time frame. Bill is somebody who's worked in this neighborhood. I asked for references. I talked to people who he's done work for. He got a wonderful recommendation by anybody. Did he give us an exact quote for how much it was gonna cost? No. He said it was gonna be about $30,000, which it was. Again, with contractors, I don't know about you, but sometimes it's really hard to get them to say it's gonna cost exactly this. Because things vary, it depends on what they find. They run into trouble, et cetera, et cetera. So I was super pleased with his work. One of the things that I had him do that I hadn't asked for a quote on was the front of the building. When he was here, we were sitting there and looking at all the battens that on the front of this building were rotten, and thus letting water come in through the front. So as an additional project, he went and replaced all the battens and put more PVC along the edge. Because again, if I had waited and got another contractor to come in, it would have cost more. He's already here with his men, his ladders, his everything. So he went and he did that. So these are things that as a board, we did not do correctly. According to the bylaws, you're supposed to have 3 quotes. Bill Robbins has said to me, that's maybe one of the things we want to look at in the bylaws. You can't necessarily, we all know you can't get 3 quotes from people all the time. So you just make judgment calls. And are all of my judgment calls correct? Maybe, maybe not. But, we do the best that we can, and I certainly talk to my board, especially Bill and I work well together on those, to try to make the best decisions. Some of the other things that I have not done personally correctly. In the fall, when we did not have a treasurer, it was just me, I signed all of our checks just myself. Now again, in the bylaws, it said we should have 2 signatures. But I didn't have a treasurer. And the people, you know, who were in the office and working on the books, they all knew what I was doing. Roxanne at the time was not an official treasurer, but she was certainly, you know, aware of what I was doing. And I signed those checks myself. Once Roxanne came on as our official treasurer, we have been doing 2 signatures. There's been a couple of instances where that was not possible because people were not available. And again, I signed things myself. Another thing that we did incorrectly was a lot of the projects that we did, we voted on our Wednesday meetings. We get together on the Wednesday, this past Wednesday we got together, and we would bring up the cement or the windows, and I'd say to everybody, okay, this is gonna, you know, what it's gonna cost, what do you think? Everybody would give their vote. Well, it turns out that we're supposed to be doing that on a Saturday meeting, in front of you so that it's in the minutes. And we did not do that. And these are things that we will be doing going forward more correctly. You know, a lot of you hear the word transparency. You know, I feel untransparent. God knows, anybody who knows me, I'm always talking. I'm always talking about the clubhouse. I'm always talking about the park. I'm always talking about everything. So I always felt I was being pretty transparent, but I gather you haven't been. And that, too, is something that we are going to be working on going forward. Membership cards. A couple people have said, well, why didn't we get a membership card? Well, we didn't do membership cards this year because you have your files, and we don't. The purpose of the membership cards were that when you came in the gate, you know, you showed it to some nice little volunteer. We're not doing that anymore. We have the gate. You use your membership cards per se if we were having an event. I gather. I've never used my membership card. Say, you know, for one of Lynn's events, you come in and you show your membership card. Well, we don't check those anymore either. So to save Becky a lot of difficulty, we just did not do the membership cards. I announced it in this most recent newsletter, but unfortunately, it didn't occur to us in the scheme of things not to let you know. So if anybody would still like a membership card, you merely come to the office and ask Becky, and she would be happy to print it out for you. Let's see. Roxanne has a new team she has put together. Billy, you're going to be a part of it. We're going to have a new financial team that's going to be looking at a lot of things. That's super cool. Look forward to working on that. You know, the other thing I want to point out, based on this whole Scarlet Pimpernel, whoever this person is, Steve Brown used to have a shirt that he would wear to these meetings, and I found it in the closet when I first started. And some of you might remember, it had a target on it. And he left it for Paula, who left it for me. Do you guys have any idea of how I have felt the past month or so with these letters? I don't sleep at night. I have to take Benadryl just to get a good night's sleep. I have bags under my eyes. This last letter was pointed at me. That's just so horrible. I mean, you think I have given this community 18 months of my time. I'm here every morning watering the plants. I take the leaf blower, I blow down all the thousands of mayflies off the building every morning. I take the blower, I blow down all your sidewalks. I treat all the roads for weeds. You know, I'm out there with my Roundup killing things and making it look good. I work my ass off for you. And for these people to point the finger at me like I'm some horrible villain is just, it's just revolting to me. And I don't know how much more of this.
And to us.
And to, I'm sorry, it's just really, really unfair. I mean, I cannot tell you how much emotional distress. I've actually had to hire a therapist. It's just not good. And I don't know what else to say to these people. Sam just told me that there was somebody who went on Facebook this morning and said that I have spent $250,000 doing my work. Where did they get this information? I don't know. How could I have possibly spent $250,000?
They don't sleep either thinking of all.
I truly just don't get it. Because, you know, Stephanie Owens posted something on Facebook this morning where she had some questions that she wanted answered. And I sent her a message back and said, Stephanie, call me up. You know, I will come over to your house. I went over one day to Lisa and Bill's house. We talked for 2 hours. You know, I answered all their questions. The people who are writing this letter, or people or persons, nobody's called me up. Nobody said, hey Wendy, can you come over and explain a few things to me? I'd like to discuss my concerns. No. You know, what kind of society do we live in that is it's so much easier to
So
sit
people
there.
are sending you hate mail and not signing it and no return address?
And
You
no
didn't
return
get any?
address.
You didn't get any letters?
No,
Yeah, we told you.
unfortunately, I haven't seen any.
I
That's why I'm
didn't.
kinda, like to get in the drama sometimes. But, you know what?
It's
Just
just,
get off Facebook.
it's just,
The
well,
whole thing,
no.
is so evil.
Well, Facebook is bad, but this last letter from the
Social media is
Charlotte
ruining
people,
this whole world.
basically it just says, Wendy Martin did this, Wendy Martin did that, Wendy Martin, and I'm like, really, people? You know, again, I've given you a year and a half of my life that I can't take back. And,
When they write these letters, they need to have proof of things.
yes,
Before they write them. I don't see anybody in here with a pacifier in their mouth, they're adults.
yeah, and I'm looking around the room and I know almost all of you, and I don't see any Scarlet Pimpernel in any of you. You know, it makes no sense to me. I just don't know. I don't know what to say to you. But I do know that I'm exhausted, I'm tired of not sleeping, and I'm not quite sure going forward how I'm gonna handle that. That's, you know, that's up for.
I would take all those letters you see that don't have return address and let your husband open them.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, we all like to complain we spend a lot of money, but you know what? This place is beautiful.
And again, look around, and
I
again,
mean,
have I done everything by the bylaws? It turns out we had a meeting, and Kathy's gonna talk a little bit more about this. We had a meeting this Wednesday that was pointed out all the things we have done incorrectly, of which there are quite a few. But, I'm sorry, the goal is to get better at doing what we do.
Well, if I can say something, because I know
Yes,
we're
please.
going to Scoot, and so my name's Shannon, and I'm not a permanent resident here, we just visit as often as we can, soon to become as permanent as we can.
Yay.
But, that may be sooner than we thought, but, I just want to commend you and the board for what you have done. And coming from, Mark owns his own contracting company, I'm in business and finance, and I would just say from the professional standpoint, everything that's happening here is exactly the way it needs to happen, especially to benefit from revenue, to enhance our bank accounts and further work and do things we need to do. We all know that there's always a shortage of great venues, great places for communities and neighbors to gather. So investing money in this to make more money is great. I understand the whole volunteerism and how many hours are put in and taking ownership of that. And so I just cannot say enough how much that is appreciated. I think we have witnessed, if not just this past week, that those who take a solid ground to speak truth and to make things matter, there is evil that just wants to overcome it. And I'm sorry that you guys are becoming subjected to that and losing sleep.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a way to defeat it other than continuing to march forward in honesty, transparency, and truth, and, with a vision.
Well, thank you.
So,
It is hard. Because, really after the event in Utah, which, whatever his beliefs are, that's horrible.
yes.
This man stood up for whatever he believes, and he's dead. Again, I talk about the Target, Bob. I talk about it, I can just scold because it's my husband. The Target, what are people gonna do, start egging my house?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, give it away, Abby.
Oh, that's true, Sam says eggs are too expensive.
Thank you,
Others-
Kathy. Thank you.
Yes.
I totally agree with Shannon. That was a beautiful words, thank you, Shannon. I didn't get that hate mail.
I did not.
I didn't, and I think it's from my past where I was an enemy of the people through this. Be that as it may, that's past. So I luckily didn't get that letter, but I read Dawn's. And there were some fallacies in there. There were a lot of untruths.
Yes.
I have been in the position at times where I've received what you're receiving, probably not to that extent. And the urge to quit, to walk away is there. And I've lost a lot of sleep, so I understand that. But I would like to encourage you and the board there's always gonna be haters. I would encourage you to stay in this position. Please don't walk away. We need the board. We need you folks. And while we might not always agree with what's happening, we have a voice to say. But I think what I'm trying to say, the bottom line is, you all have done a great job. Please stay. I hear under there that you're so frustrated that you really would like to leave,
Well, yes.
but I would ask you not to.
All right. Well, I will have to admit that it is my intention to leave, because I need to sleep. You know, I mean, again, I will give it some thought. Kathy and I have talked about it endlessly. I've talked to a couple of my board members about my intent to leave.
Well, if you leave, that's what they want.
I understand that, but really,
Gets back to mental
it's
health.
just, it's mental health.
It does.
It's, you know, think about this. Paula left, Steve left, Colleen left, all of our board presidents have left because of mental strain. I've heard from all of them after this. They have all contacted me in one way or the other and said, hang in there, but we understand if you want to take off. It's horrible. And how as a community, we need these people, and who's gonna volunteer, except for Michelle, you know, we're gonna announce her in a minute. But we need the volunteers. Why would you volunteer? I would not suggest this job to anybody. You know, seriously, your sister was the one that encouraged me to take on this job, and I curse her on a regular basis. Because it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. So think about it. I mean, that's what you think about. If you're out there and you're thinking about being a volunteer and being on the board, and then you look at what's happening via Facebook and these horrible letters, why would you do it? You know? So you're just gonna be me and you're losing sleep and going to a therapist. So that is my little thing. I will give it some thought, but it certainly is something I'm seriously considering. I mean, I do have a great team here and I think they would do fine, but I gotta reconsider. I have to give
But
it
you
some thought.
don't know if you leave,
What's gonna happen?
what they're gonna make me. I don't know.
I know.
But see me later, I have a few non-drug suggestions.
What fun is that?
Sam says tequila is really the best solution.
I said, use my therapist, Jose.
Oh, yeah, was it great? Yeah, I tried that the other night after the Wednesday meeting. I went home and got a little tipsy. Kathy joined me. It was lots of fun. All right, so
It's fault.
Just real quick, I think that the board's done a wonderful job here, and they really improved this place tremendously. And I appreciate every one of it.
Walker that walks through here every day, and they see the change.
yes.
Paul Miller, you know,
Yes, the funeral director.
he's my niece.
Yes.
And they walk every day around here and they say, what a change.
Well, this is funny because I've talked to them and I stopped him and I said, oh, he says, well, I've heard how wonderful Arrowhead is becoming. And so he and his wife parked their car there by the office every morning and they walked the neighborhood. And on top of that, one of the things that they mentioned in the letters was our real estate prices are going down. Excuse me, that is so not the case. I mean, have you seen?
Ask John Paul.
Yeah. Have you seen the building? There's a new spec house that went up on Mojave. The gentleman, my friend Susan, spoke to him and he said he is looking for other lots to build houses on. Nate, our electrician, if you notice that on Creek Road, there was some clearing. So this young man who's a native to this area and an electrician is building a house there. People are building.
And
People are repairing their houses.
And if I could just say, when Mark and I get down here, and again, I'm thinking it's gonna be sooner rather than later. Mark is just a dreamer, he's got big plans,
Oh, he's my kind of guy.
you know,
Yes,
and
good.
so, yeah.
There's a lot of, I mean, I go into town, I have a lot of friends who live in Edenton, and they have all complained. I've heard about Arrowhead and how it's really turning over. I've talked to realtors who say that they're having a far easier time selling a house because they always drive people past the park. And so it's really great. Things are going really, really well. So where these people get their information, and I don't know. I don't see any of them sitting here.
So how many letters did you get?
There were two.
You got two,
I'm
you just
not-
had a dozen people tell you how great you're doing.
Thank you. And the response on Facebook, I have to admit, and Michelle can
You got it.
testifies to this, that other than there's one crazy kind of lady who lives, over on Creek Trail, everybody was positive. Again, Michelle works on one of the Facebook sites, and I was just really tickled to death to hear the support on Facebook for all that we as a team have done. So I will keep it in mind. My husband and I are actually going on a road trip soon. I need a little mental time out.
Just to finish my thought that I was saying before, great job, I appreciate it, you're a go-getter, you would get things done, you don't wanna wait for everything.
Well,
But it is important that we do follow the bylaws.
Yes,
Because if we
yes.
don't, we don't know who this board is gonna be next time, and if they don't follow the bylaws, and you didn't follow the bylaws,
yeah, I mean,
that could be a big problem.
that is certainly a problem that was addressed this last Wednesday, is that I came in here, I read the bylaws, they immediately put me to sleep, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You read them, and some of them are confusing, uncertain. I just kind of went by what other people had told me that the process that we're supposed to do. We've since learned, that was incorrect. Our bad. We're really sorry about that. But none of this was done maliciously. It's certainly, I wasn't using, that was my favorite one, as my own personal piggy bank. That was a great quote in that letter. Wendy's using it as money, as her own personal piggy bank. I don't think any of this has benefited me personally. I myself live on the river. How am I benefiting? So we'll see. And yeah, we've got a nice team of people. John Willard stepped up, and I've got Bill Robbins, who is my #1 mentor. Kathy and I spend a lot of time sitting on Bill's couch, asking him questions and having him give us advice. And hopefully going forward, we will do we'll do a better job. But, I've done 90%. I keep saying, if I do quit, I have done 90% of what I wanted to accomplish, so.
I got it 100.
Yeah, a few more things. All right, now, I truly do have to get to a wedding, but before we do, Michelle Burgess is sitting over there, who most of you hopefully are familiar with, even not by face, but through Facebook. She is phenomenal. She always posts an amazing amount of information that is accurate. She's been in the community for years. And somehow Kathy and I yesterday talked her into stepping up and being secretary. I don't know why she wants to do this, but she's extremely well written and articulate. And Lynn is thrilled to death because Lynn's been taking the minutes for the past couple of meetings, so she's excited to be able to pass it up. And hopefully, Lynn, you will show her, some of your minutes and guide her into the format. Yeah, but you did a great job. So, we're gonna take a moment and stand up. And we as a board, I would like to forward the name of, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly, Michelle Burgess. You wanna do it? Okay.
I make a motion that we accept Michelle Burgess on the board as secretary. I vote. Second.
Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Done!
Remember,
Hey, Lynn, can I get a show of hands for the minutes?
We're voting, we got to show of hands for Michelle. Burgess.
Kathy?
Oh.
Five, I see.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll full proof.
Me and Lynn are both writing, I can see her writing over here too.
So,
Yeah,
that's,
we weren't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Thank you. Can we vote on the CD really?
oh yeah, we'll do the CD. We had a 50,
one question, which date we turn to?
On fifth.
Donna Pitt.
That's important.
Secretary.
She's filling the role of Donna Pitt, whose
That
term
expires
in
in,
April.
with me and Lynn.
I know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on, please, for the minutes, so we make sure that we document this approval accurately. Could you repeat that, please, so she can write this down?
She will be stepping in for Donna Pitt, whose term ends at the end of April.
This April?
So there you go.
Thank you.
So we've only got it for 6 months unless she has lobotomy and continues. We'll see what happens. There's a question about the CD, as you all know, that we have a CD that's been made, God, over $2,000 in interest. Excellent. But I think, I guess I'll leave that to you, Roxanne, about
Did you
what.
call the bank?
Yeah, I already took care of it.
So that it went where, because we
It's
didn't know.
it's in the savings account.
Okay.
We just
I
have,
think it's
we
in the
just have to
savings.
vote on
I
that.
did that the day you asked me to do it, Thursday.
We have to vote on that.
Yes, we have to vote on that. So Roxanne, you want to make the motion for what we're doing with CD?
Well, we can do one of two things, and then it's up to you, okay? We can go ahead and take the interest, leave it in the reserve account, and then take $25,000 out of that and put it back into the CD, and then take $25,000 in the operating fund, or we can just leave it in the reserve account. It's up to y'all how you want to handle this. I'll do it any way you want. So, just let me know.
The advantage of leaving it in the savings account is, yeah.
Roxana,
Mm-hmm.
if we put it all in the reserve account and we need some for the operating funds later, can we move some of that to the operating funds?
Absolutely, because those funds originally came from the operating fund.
Okay, I'm good.
So if we need it, we can use it.
I'm
But
good.
I was thinking, just a suggestion, we make a little bit more interest in the CD than we do in the savings account.
what I was gonna ask.
So, yes, 5%, although the savings account interest fluctuates a lot, so it's up and down. But I will do it how any way the board wishes that money to be distributed or saved. They just have to have a vote and it has to be voted.
Okay, make a motion and we'll vote.
No,
What's your
decide
recommendation?
which one.
We have,
What's your
what is your
recommendation of what we
recommendation?
should do?
You make the motion,
Okay.
yea or nay.
All right. I propose that we go ahead and put 25 in the CD to get some more interest. The savings, the money we've earned already in interest, go into the reserve savings account and put 25 in operating funds, which I think will carry us to the end of the year without having to touch any of the money. That's my recommendation. But you guys decide. It's nice to have a discussion, it really is, to ask
We need
questions.
to put all 25,000 in the checking account if the money market account is the one that's going to have interest.
We don't, now we can leave, that is also a possibility, to just leave it there with earning money. Now, if we need it,
That would be my recommendation.
okay, you say it.
There you go. Thank you.
Somebody make a motion so we can vote.
So reword it, she said, so she get it in the minutes.
I make a motion that we go ahead, and correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, please. Put the interest earned from the CD into the reserve account, and put the 25,000, and leave the 25,000 in the reserve account, and invest in a $25,000 CD.
I second that.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that way we still get some interest, because 2,000 and some change, I didn't see the final amount because of the transaction that took place after we had met. But that is a very nice sum of money for just 5 months, well, 10 months of being in a CD.
How much is the original CD?
It was originally 50,000.
50,000?
It was $50,000 over a 10-month period, we earned over $2,000. That's right in line. When we started, all of the money was not earning any, we were earning 75 cents a month.
That's
For
correct.
almost over $200,000. So since we started, we have earned a lot of money in interest, working with the bank. I love Truist, they've been great. So,
Why wasn't that in the budget?
Did you spend all that 75 cents without approving?
I did, yeah. So Roxana has made the motion, I have seconded, all in favor, please say, Lord, please say aye. All right, now I'm going to a wedding where I'm gonna put on a dress and dance and drink at lunch. And Kathy's in charge. Stop yet.
July and August. So I will be brief, I will be quick. Call to order, this is July 12th meeting. Invocation by Kathy, pledge the flag by all members. Noted that Bill Robbins, who usually leads the prayer, had fallen and broken his leg. So we thought about Bill. Board members present were Bill Piles, Sam, Wendy, Kathy, Roxana, and Lynn. Donna was absent and has resigned her role as secretary. June 14th, meeting minutes were read by Wendy and approved with the exception of a date change. There was no monthly meeting for May, so there were no minutes for May. Commissioner Ron Cummings and his wife were welcome to the meeting. President's report, she invited help for the newsletter, reported how traffic in the park had increased this summer. VP report, Kathy and Roxana will meet soon to look at forecasting for the long-range plan. Anyone interested, please help. Treasurer's report, I have the handout attached. We have approximately $27,000 in the checking account. Efforts will be made to recoup AMAs on vacant lots that are overdue by foreclosing on them. We do not want to foreclose on people that are living in homes and make them homeless. We've reestablished a relationship with Gregory CPA firm. They've agreed to clean up the books after Roxana inputs data from credit card charges. Just a note, Chowan County uses them also. A motion was placed by Wendy and seconded by Bill to move $6,000 from Truist Money Market to the checking so we could hire Gregory CPA firm to bring the books up to date. Board was all in favor with Lynn abstaining, not voting. Public Works building. Did you? Well, let's fix that.
Why would I not want
I
to?
don't know why
Because I was writing notes and.
maybe you weren't paying attention. Okay, board were all in favor, period. Okay. Public Works and Building Control, Bill reported volunteer hours, mowing, cleaning the park, they've been spreading slag. See his detailed report that's attached. Several new homes and outbuildings have been permitted. All active permits are in a log on the computer in the office if anybody wants to know what's going on with that. Ecology, Sam thanked the volunteers for roadside pickup and announced that the next will be September 20th or 27th. He'll inform us the next meeting. He's still working on ideas for replacement trees in the park and reports of green algae south of the beach towards Winnebago. Parks and Rec, Lynn reports that this year's golf cart parade had 25 carts and is the biggest since she's been here. Was recommended too late that we have a prize for best decorated. Kitty was thanked for continuing to be the leader of the parade. Cookout was also very well attended at about 120 people. Requests that we plan to attend a presentation on the 5th at the clubhouse put on by the Merchants Mill Pond staff. They're going to share information, let attendees view microorganisms found in the water with microscopes. Event is for children and adults. End of the season cookout will be September 1st. These are July minutes, right? No date yet for October trunk or treat, but will be announced soon. New business. Colleen shared an update from the playground committee, what's been done so far. Kids are in the park every day, new swings and paint. She wants the board to consider purchasing a handicap swing for ADA compliance, and she has the information. For long-range planning, she advocates for some type of safe surface to be installed and shared. Several options that are used in surrounding parks. Also recommends different equipment that might include ropes, bars, and slide. Colleen also requests help with the August-September newsletter, as right now it is her, Dana, and Wendy doing the newsletter. Please share photos, anything you might be appropriate. Debbie Parker recommended avoiding color for the letter, with black ink being more economical. Jacqueline reports about our website today. For the month of May, we had 299 new hits on the website and 103 returning hits. In June, there were 353 new hits. This is also proof of interest. And with 98 returning hits. She has placed the ICPTA transportation info on the website for anyone who might need help with transportation. Neighborhood Watch, Kitty reported that she's asked Sergeant White for updates on activity in the neighborhood. There were some cars ransacked and people wandering through yards. Call and video camera around July 1st. We have not heard if they were caught, but it was reported by neighbors when it occurred. Reminded everyone of the Are You OK program. shop group will pay special attention to your home when you're out of town if you complete the form on the website and let them know. And I would add, just call Kitty. She expressed concern that the park gate was known to be propped open. Evidently, there's a new rooster in the neighborhood. Also had reports of a camper with a loud AC. Discussion occurred about Facebook pages and that the administrators of those pages are Lori Bullock for the all-around Arrowhead and Paula Holler for the official Arrowhead property owners. Neither wants to give up ownership of these pages. This has been brought to the lawyer's attention in the past, and he states there's nothing that can be done about that. The board of the APOA is not affiliated with either page and is not responsible for what is written there. A recommendation was made by a member that some notification be placed in the newsletter to that effect. Michelle Burgess has been working with Wendy to place information on each page that is informational and needs dissemination. Mr. Ron Cummings, the county commissioner, spoke for a few minutes and invited us to attend a meeting. Their meetings are held downtown on the first and third Mondays at 6 p.m. Anyone can speak at a county commissioner meeting for 3 minutes. Shared information about a way that they had to help with projects and recommended that if we had need, we submit our petitions as soon as possible because money is limited and it may be first come, first served. Happy close to prayer meeting was adjourned 10:45. So, do I have a motion to accept the July minutes with the change about Lynn voting?
I'll make a motion to accept.
A second.
All in favor, raise your hand.
We need to take a breather.
She got the next one.
I got the next batch.
You want me to read?
You're on the roll.
We
You
gotta
got it, go.
We have to get a model.
Yeah, well, we gotta do all this and then we'll be done with minutes.
August 9th minutes. Meeting was called to order at 9:15 a.m. by President Wendy Martin. The benediction was provided by Kathy Grimes. It was followed by the pledge of the flag. Present was Wendy Martin, Kathy Grimes, Roxana White, Bill Piles, Sam, Lynn, legal, secretary, and building controller, all vacant. A quorum was established. Minutes of July 12th, 2025. Kathy Grimes gave a summary of those notes she had taken at the July meeting, which included the July motion number 1 to approve the June minutes and the July motion number 2 to approve the transfer of $6,000 from the reserve savings account to the operating account to pay the CPA review of our financial books. Motion to accept the minutes from the meeting of July 12th is delayed until September meeting as the minutes have not been transcribed. August 1st motion was to accept the minutes and that was not applicable. President's report. Wendy advised a sign-up sheet was located on the back table in the clubhouse for members to sign up to be on a bylaws and restrictive covenants committee. I do have to say that she took the names but neglected to get contact information, so keep that in mind. If you're not contacted, we're going to have to get the contact information. We talked about that right afterwards. Anyway. She advises that this fall and this winter we will focus on the review and the revision of these guidelines. The request for committee members will also be posted in the newsletter. John Willard reminded us that a committee needs to be led by the legal board member on RCs and bylaws. We do not have a legal board member. I'm adding that to let you all know. However, meetings can be led by someone not in an official capacity. His suggestion is we solicit the membership for someone to accept the legal board position, even if temporarily, to lead this review and the revision of the guidelines. He reminds us the documents will need approval with a quorum from the entire community. We must follow the current bylaws on any changes that are to be made. The board does not solely vote on revisions. The property owners do vote on the revisions. It is required that the vote take place at a special meeting or at the annual meeting with a quorum. Same as for the elections to the board. It is believed that both revised documents should be filed with the county. RCs must be recorded at the county office. Bylaws do not necessarily need to be recorded. Bill suggested that we look at the current amendments to see what may have been removed years ago. And Wendy expressed concern regarding the possible situation if no one steps up to take a board position. Vice President report. Kathy reported on a petition signed by residents that was given to the county commissioner to remove a property that was damaged by fire. It is our understanding that the county has a fund to assist in the removal of hazardous material. No update on the county's response at the time of our meeting was available.
I haven't updated today.
Okay. Treasurer's report. Roxanne White reviewed the financial status. No auditor has accepted our request for an audit of past and current finances. John Lillard suggested we audit only for the current fiscal year. Roxanne advised we are looking for members to join an auditor's committee if we cannot hire an outside auditor. She provided handouts of the current treasurer's reports. The balance in our accounts are as follows. In the operating account, $36,589.64. In the reserve account, $65,690.40. In the CD account, $51,280.71. There's a credit card pending of $683.50. The total pending AMAs in arrears, $74,564.09 as of July 31st, 2025. And I would like to say a big kudos to those who worked on getting some of that $100,000, if you will remember, had been in arrears. So, just saying. There was no secretary report, there was no legal report, building control, and public works report. So Bill has advised that all the slag has been applied. There is a building permit log on the office computer. No permits were issued in July. His committee reported 57 volunteer hours for July alone. He advised there is no specific date to close the park bathrooms. They will remain open until it gets cold enough that the plumbing will need winterized, most likely late September or October. Karen Gum advised that no slag was put on Cheyenne Trail. She mentioned an altercation with a person upset on the use of the gravel roads. Discussion on the use of slag and gravel roads was tabled by Wendy for a later discussion. Ecology report. Sam announced September 20th, that's coming up, will be the next community cleanup event at 9 a.m. Volunteers are to meet at the office gatehouse area. Parks and Recs. APOA hosted the Merchants Mill Pond State Park on August 5th, and that program recap was provided. Upcoming events announced were the Fall Festival October 25th, Trunk or Treat October 31st, and plans for both were in progress. Old business, none was brought up. New business. John Lillard presented a letter he composed in response to community members telling him that he was believed to have started a coup. He denied this allegation. He listed 4 points that he brought up in prior meetings that he believes he has had no responsive action. He ended his letter recommending that if the board cannot enforce the RCs nor operate within the bylaws, then the board should propose the APOA be dissolved on the next ballot. His letter has been attached to the minutes per his request. Sam advised an anonymously written complaint Sam advised an anonymously written complaint received by some members of the board and the community. He suggested a special meeting be arranged to further address the complaint. August 20th at 2 p.m. was suggested as the date for this special meeting. That date was not confirmed. The special meeting will be addressed in the newsletter. A scheduled date will be confirmed. It was requested by the attendees that the board be more supportive of residents that do speak out on complaints to encourage more members to accept board positions. Becky Yackel advised that after the heavy rain of June 16th, her lawn flooded. Although it all drained overnight with no resulting damage, she questions if the newly poured concrete at the clubhouse driveway might have contributed to the flooding. And she also questioned when the manhole there was last cleaned out. Bill advised he was unaware but would look at that situation. Neighborhood Watch. Kitty advised underage drivers of golf carts was reported. If stopped by the police, we could lose our golf cart privileges in the park. She also stated that the doors to the clubhouse were propped open for lengthy periods of time. She stated several event signs, political signs, are in violation. Event signs must be removed 24 hours after the event. A truck was reported parked on the grounds behind the clubhouse. The doors to the clubhouse were propped open for a lengthy period of time during that weekend. Leftover concrete was disposed of by an area property owner by a contractor. Once the property owner became aware of the disposal, the owner did clean it up. Kitty quoted from the RC, Article 13, Section 10, C, 6 and 7. Neighborhood Watch duties are to submit reports of vandalism, destruction of association property, traffic violations, and other activities detrimental to the subdivision. Neighborhood Watch should provide recommendations to the board as to appropriate responsive action. We do, per the recommended action, contact the local police. The committee reported 135 hours and 50 minutes from July 10th through August 13th, 2021. The question arose from the attendees on how to handle solicitation signs that are posted by third parties on private property. Owners of the private property may remove these signs. Office report. Becky Ellsworth reported on fobs and membership card procedures. She suggested the membership card language in the RCs be revised and that key fobs should replace membership cards. Members can get a card printed at the office if requested. She reminded us that the number of guests in the park is determined by the reigning board. Currently, no limit on guests is in place. Webpage, we had no report. Newsletter, Colleen Nicholas reported on the expected printing and mailing. Her receipt of vendor ads, $25 for a single ad and $100 for 6 issues. She advises she had received many suggestions for articles in the current pending newsletter. She requested additional material from the community for the upcoming newsletters. She suggested we use the color ink that we have in stock, but that this newsletter will be printed in black and white ink only. Wendy added that she did some research on having the newsletter printed by an outside party. The cost was $900 to print in black and white. She advises a verbal quote of $2,000 was received to repair the color printer currently owned by the APOA. No vote was taken on repairs at this time. New residents, none were reported, but I do believe there have been a few. Any other thing? Nothing was reported. No additional motions. The adjournment was called by Wendy Martin at 10:41 a.m. after the benediction that was provided by Kathy Brown. letter and the financial reports and, the sign-in sheets. Yes,
I have a correction, please.
nice and loud for me.
I have a correction. I did not complain that the driveway caused the flooding. My complaint was the, what do you call it, dirt and stuff?
Swale,
The what?
swale.
Whatever was taken, the dirt that was taken out to level the ground to put the driveway in was apparently put over.
How do you want me to revise? Do you want me to
Just
say it
change it. I
wasn't
was
the
not
newly
complaining.
poured concrete, but it was the digging of the,
What do you call it, the dirt? It's,
Yeah.
the revision of the, lay of the land, the
That's
revision
not
of the
called,
lay
I
of the
found
land
the
and
problem,
digging.
it's like,
two of you are talking. What?
Sorry.
just change that to the dirt that was put out under the tree trunk. Was what it was.
The
not
dirt
the-
taken out of the area
Removal of the dirt, okay.
where the driveway was gonna be was put over an area that raised
The elevation.
the elevation of it. That I think caused that area to flood. So I'm not complaining about the driveway.
I understand.
Okay,
I
and,
didn't say
and,
complaint, I only advised, I
okay,
didn't
and,
complain.
Bill has said he'll take care of that issue.
Okay.
I-
So, although it all drained overnight with no result in damage, she questions if the removal of the dirt changed her elevation.
The removal of the dirt from that driveway space. And put over there, it's not the driveway or anything has to do with the driveway, it has to do with where that dirt was put over there.
That where the dirt was removed to.
The excavation.
Excavation,
Excavation.
I like that.
Okay, got it, thank you.
I make a motion that the minutes be approved with that correction. All in favor?
Who seconded?
Everybody said
It was the chorus I heard.
Okay, now it's time for, officer reports. Wendy has done hers. I was prepared to just give a brief overview of what happened on Wednesday night. The attendance Wednesday night was about what it is here today. It was a large group of people who came. All the preparation meetings we have on Wednesday nights before the business meeting on Saturday are open to the membership. So membership showed up to, I suppose, hear what went on about the letters and, you know, what we were gonna do to change and move forward. And it was a good meeting. People were able to speak. There was a good discussion. As Wendy has mentioned earlier, we discussed the procedures that were not followed, on some expenditures. Everybody on the board had an opportunity to share their concerns and their input. Residents who were here got opportunities, everyone was given an opportunity to share their concerns. It was a productive meeting, and everyone agreed at the end of that meeting to move forward. What's done is history, we can't change it. We've learned from the Doug Ford, okay. Doug Ford agreed to be, to help with that. Leslie Jewell, Karen Gone, Brown, and,
Forget the brown now.
okay, Karen Dunn, thank you. And, Roxana. So those are my committee members. Becky, you're not interested?
Not at this time.
Okay. So I need to put those members in good standing forward as my long-range planning committee. And, anybody else wanna help us do that? It's an important group. We look at where we're gonna spend the money and what the needed projects are and, you know, what we wanna do for the community. So, if you don't think we're doing the right thing, this committee can be on. Anybody, any volunteers? Will somebody make a motion to approve my committee members?
I
Please,
make a motion to accept Kathy's.
thank you.
I second that.
Bill and Sam,
Okay.
okay,
Got it, thanks.
and you got the committee, right?
I got it, thanks.
I will be in contact with my committee in the next
We
few
gotta
days.
raise our hands.
We gotta raise our hands, all in favor? Okay.
That's a good policy.
Yeah, good to see it. So, I'll be in touch with you all in the next few days to get going, because we're planning for next year, and it'll be here before we know it. Any questions about that? Okay. I wanna kinda tell you what I've been doing. There was some conversation earlier, you know, we've had the places in the roads that have been, dug up, where the county came in and dug up the roots, and left the holes, and anyway, that's been going on for weeks. I called the man, and he told me he couldn't do it because a storm was coming. Of course, that was a couple weeks ago, that we had a storm coming, and so, I called him back, and I said, storm's gone, when are y'all coming out here? So anyway, they came, yay! And, even the dip over here on Ute, whatever, they filled that in too. So, that was what I was talking about, that's what you were talking about. But anyway, so that was.
Uber Brown, yeah, there was 3 that they dug
Yeah.
out, now they get it on my side.
Yeah, it's good, so, yeah,
I gave Bill the credit though.
okay, well, I took it.
I told the state on that.
All right, so that's good. On another item, I've also been working with some of the properties that are in bad repair. And the item that was talked about earlier with the county commissioner, you know, he came to the meeting and we sent him a petition that was signed by people to try to clear off that area across from, or next to Leslie Jewell on Comanche. And, he supposedly has a fund, so we sent the petition like he told us to do. I called him, hadn't heard a thing. Leslie hadn't heard a thing. So I called him yesterday, and, he didn't act like he knew anything. So I reviewed what it was, and I said, you know, he said he was gonna go back and check on it. So, anyway, I did follow up with that. So the other person I've been in contact with the county is a man named Robert Daniels. And he's the person, that is with the Planning and Inspections Department. And that was who I was told that we needed to seek help from to get help with some of these properties that people are living like they are, and it's terrible. Well, I gave him 4 properties. I gave him Micmac. If you wanna see something bad, go to Micmac. It's behind poor Marjorie. And, where's my email? I got too many folders, but I can remember. It was Micmac, and I've already had a couple of estimates gotten on that to clear that property. It's a camper that's back there. It's, 2 mobile homes. It's 2 or 3 lots, I can't remember. It's overgrown, there's crap in the yard, there's trash, it's awful. And it's been like that. Steve Brown used to call it, a third world country when he was the president, and that's been several years ago. So this did not happen under our watch. You know, that's another thing that is out in the community, that why aren't y'all doing something, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this man has had multiple complaints about Micmac, and they have a procedure similar to what we have. What they do is they send him a letter, they give him X amount of time. He has driven by all the 4 places that I've turned in. He Comanche and, Crow. And if you drive by there, they have really cleaned up the trash in the yard. There's
Is that the
still-
one next to the boat ramp?
Mm,
The parking lot next to the boat ramp?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. They still have a junk car on there, but the trash that was in the yard has been moved. So he didn't really think he could do anything about that, but when I gave him the name of that property, they had not done anything. So anyway, another one is the bus over on, off of Mojave, what's that street? Oneida. There were two big buses there, and the one that remains there is an old Red Cross Bloodmobile bus. And, he's living in it. And this Mr. Robert Daniel called, he rode by, and he called him, or sent a letter, that's right, and the guy called him. The son of the lady who owns the property lives in the bus. And he lied to Mr. Robert and told him that he wasn't living in it, but we all know, don't we, that he's living in it. He's going to move forward with them. You're not supposed to be living in a mobile home or a bus. You see, you can't even really call that an RV. And the other one that I talked to him about was down next to the Purple House off of Mojave, that the people are living in the house with no electricity and they're running a generator.
Yeah, that's all plan.
Y'all know about, you may know about that. Anyway, so all this is in the back where, anyway, so.
We got people living in a camper on food, just showing you.
I wondered about that. How, you know they're living in that camper?
Yeah, because we live on Brown
Right, I
and
know where you live.
we see, it seems like there's two kids in there. Like,
Okay.
like they're young adults, maybe like 18 or something.
Okay,
Yeah, they come out in the morning in shorts, and
okay. I wasn't sure about that, but I didn't want to.
trash all piled up out there.
Turn them in. Okay,
They probably see the letter, but.
yeah, that's the list.
Kathy,
Yeah,
that place down on Crow close to Chickasaw Trail that had all the trash and all the other cars in it before,
yeah,
they've cleaned some stuff
that's what I
up.
just reported on.
Oh, I just said close to Comanche.
Oh, Comanche.
Yeah, that's right across the Chickasaw Trail.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's-
that's the end of the road where I live on. I see it every day when I go out. Yeah, they're cleaned up.
Yeah, when I mowed the grass down there 10 days ago, I said, Lord, what's going on here? There's only
Yeah.
one car left there and the trash is on the
Right.
front porch.
So, it just takes persistence, calling them back, checking on them. And so I had initially reported these on August 12th with an email and a telephone call to Mr. Daniel. And then, yesterday, I talked back with him and he gave me the update. So I said, well, I'm gonna give you a couple weeks and I'll call you back to see where we're at with this. So anyway, he's supposedly gonna be helping. Yes, ma'am.
Kathy, is there anything that can be done about an empty lot it's next to my home? And I have paid one time over $300 to have the overgrowth cleaned, because it was overtaken by garage.
Is it behind you or beside you?
It's beside me.
Uh,
And, I don't know whether anything can be done that, even the front of it is extending to where the driveway, but I don't have a paved road.
Right.
So the overgrowth is even going.
Is it cleared off or is it left,
It's never been cleared
It's never
off
been
this
cleared.
lot.
yeah, if it's cleared, they're supposed to keep it maintained, I believe. Is that the understanding, people that know by heart? And if it's not cleared, I'm not sure. Have you just tried talking to them?
I don't know who owns it, no one lives there,
We can find that out for you. We can probably get you that. We didn't, heard that information? Yeah.
the board
Do you wanna
can't
just
send
check?
them a letter or anything?
water leaks on Crow. Now there's another one down a little farther on Crow, on that side where you can't come around the corner, I forget the name of the street there, but there's 3 water leaks on Crow. And now we got a water leak over on Blackwood. I called up and the girl said, wait a minute, she connected me over to their operations people, and I told him, and he said, we'll look into it sometime.
Is it affecting your water bill?
It's not, but it's bacteria in the water.
Oh, I hear
Maybe
you.
fresh water.
I was just wondering if it influenced it.
No, it's not affected that, but it's bad.
Okay, I
And
hear
it's
you.
getting worse.
Yeah, and the road's gonna crush in there because
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one more, you been compared to what I'm trying to say last year.
Yeah, I know we've been in
You start
contact.
calling them last, you
We'll
start calling
we'll
them
call
last.
somebody above them. We'll
Yeah,
call
well,
above them.
that's all you have to do is call the environment department to let them know there's a potential, environment issue, and that will cause them to move quicker.
So I talked to the county manager about that, like 6 months ago, he actually came out to my house.
And look at the leak.
Yeah, and I followed it up with an email to him and the county supervisor that's in this area, that handles this area. And they've all been notified via email and personal discussions with the county manager of Shaw County. He personally came out and looked at it and still hasn't done anything. And I emailed the DOT people, so you could contact the DOT people, because they run these streets. And I also contacted them about the tore up Van Brown, but, so just a little more insight. So the county manager's aware of that leak, so is the county supervisor that runs this area, and the DOT. So there's a lot of people that know about that leak. It's not gonna be under health department, it's gonna be, you get the supervisor and just ride that dude,
Yeah.
and he'll.
Well, here's the thing, I don't know what TV station covers this area, but sometimes they do those kind of stories when residents can't get anything done. Is there one of those on any of our local channels that might pick it up? I don't know.
10 on your side, is that it?
Yeah.
No. It wouldn't hurt to call them.
Yeah, for filling in my cruises.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what's been going on, as far as the environment report. I'm done. Next,
You wanna upset the water department? Call them on a Saturday around 8 PM and report that there's a flood. Cause then they have to send somebody out.
How would you do it?
But then they look at it and say, oh, it's just a little bit, you don't care.
Yeah, you keep bothering them, they'll have to come out. And they have to come out when you report that to the emergency line.
Yeah.
Cause it happened on, right where our water main was on Brown and whatever that road is. And we called for a flood and they had to come out and fix it. Call them on Saturday like 8 PM.
Okay, let's do, so we're gonna give y'all, let's do, treasurer's report next, please.
Well, that, you were very hard active.
All you gotta do is tell us about the
I know. For the month of August, we received $2,501 and cents. So far, we've received in AMA income $91,508.27. We reached 83%, so that is pretty good in the months that we have come down. We've also received association memberships to $390, clubhouse rentals $300, and interest earned for August $103.98. And also fees that we charge, the late fees, that was $215. And on the pink side, that's pretty much the total side. And the yellow, the total is the yellow side. And the pink is the income to date. So we did not have a lot of expenditures, just regular, the electric, the water, the lawn maintenance, the attendance. So basically, everything was pretty quiet this month as far as expenditures and the clubhouse cleaning. So, but I do want to take a moment to go ahead and let you know that the CD effective Wednesday or Thursday, there's zero in the CD because it was transferred to the reserve account. At that time, we had, at the end of August, we had $65,911.78. So just add 52,000 to that, and that'll bring that up. And then in the checking account, we have $26,078.80. $78,074.09 in arrears. And we are working. Mr. and Mrs. Ruber are helping me, they're part of the finance committee, to go ahead and try and reclaim some of those funds so we can, put them in the operating funds. So we are working on that. We're going to be sending out letters, we're going to be sending out, some more invoices and seeing about taking legal action for the vacant lots that are past due. Some of them are past due like 4 years, to go ahead and then sell them at auction following the law. The proper procedures for auctions to recoup some of those funds. And lastly, I just want to say, since we're following the bylaws, under the treasurer, I am the chair of the finance committee. And under that committee, there are 2 groups, the budget group and the audit group. And I am encouraging everyone who is interested in helping to please sign up. I have 4 here that have signed up, that I will go ahead and submit their names, if that's all right with them, to be part of the committee, and 4 that have also, shown their interest. So you ready? Okay, Nancy Hay. Which committee? It will be for the finance committee, and I guess from there we can go to either group. Bill Ruger, Lisa Ruger, John Lillard, Mark.
That's fine.
But I didn't.
None of
Again, thank you. Okay. Karen, forgive me. I see Karen, but what's the last, how do you pronounce it?
Go.
Go, I don't wanna whisper. Okay. Carol?
She just left.
She just left.
Okay. Beatty, okay. And Leslie Jewell.
Yeah.
And that's my report.
I think she's split it.
Did you vote on that?
I believe so, and I tell you what,
I'm clear on that. I just want to know where in the bylaws that we need to have anything voted on committee members.
I don't know if it
I don't
needs to be
think that
split
should be
on.
voted on, I think that the
It's just
members
a-
of the
It was
committee,
against standing, yeah.
and they have to be approved by the board.
I think that's all there is to it, so.
So I guess it would go from one committee to another, and as long as they're one group to another, it's whatever their interests are.
It's divided up in the bylaws, so I figured it'd be one and one. One budget and one audit.
If you're on the finance committee, don't have a committee, they can be on whatever.
Either or.
Yeah, if you're on the finance committee, they're on the finance committee. If budget and audit's all part of the finance committee, so.
Yeah, but I figured since we got to split it up in the bylaws, I figured it'd be two.
Is it split in the bylaws? Two
Yes.
separate ones?
Yes.
Or does it just say finance committee?
No, just two, they're groups.
Oh, okay,
They're groups under the committee.
okay.
So if clarification is needed, then I will get it. And I do want to say, those that participate, I know your time is valuable. I will be happy to provide lunch and snacks. I will have everything ready. That I want to make these good meetings so more people will participate.
Beer, you got beer too?
Well, you can drink it outside. You can drink it out beneath the fence.
Committee meeting will be by the fence.
What kind do you use so I can drink so I can go ahead and use? What kind do you drink so I can go ahead and get a pack?
Whatever's free.
For the minutes, please receive it.
I didn't hear any of that.
So the board has to approve the members.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
can we approve them?
I make a motion that we approve the people put forward.
I say.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Yes, raise hand. You have a friend that kind of likes to keep hovering around here.
Yes. Okay, are you done?
Yes.
Any questions for finance? Don?
Can we get the sheriff's department back out here and put a speed limit sign up on the highway? People fly through it. And it's not just people who live here, delivery trucks.
Hang on to that for our new business, okay? Help us stay on track here. All right, Lynn, you're next.
machine has been dismantled and it was thoroughly cleaned on Tuesday this week. It is a maintenance requirement and we do that, as often as we
What
possibly
was
can.
that, I'm sorry, I missed that part. What was dismantled, clean?
Ice machine.
Ice machine, okay.
Cleaning contracts for the clubhouse and the park bathhouses are going to be requested, so we're gonna be looking for bids on cleaning the clubhouse and the park bathhouses. Fall Festival will still be October 25th, it will be from 1 to 3 p.m. We are looking for a driver and a trailer for our hay rides. We do have live music, we do have balloon sculpturers who will be coming this time to do the balloons. We do have a face painter who is coming. We do have a scheduled magic show from one of our residents here who is excited to share that. I need, of course, willing participants. Mark, I'm looking at you for this one. I got a new game for our community to play. It is called Granny Pants. And you wear the granny pants. 2 teams.
You have 2 granny pants?
Yep, I got 2 granny pants. I got lots of little beach balls. Whoever can fill up granny pants in the relay race, they will get the prize.
That's awesome.
What do you think, Mark?
You know, the fact that I was in the Navy, I learned a lot there. And one was never again volunteer yourself. That has pictures that I will probably never forget.
Well,
Written all over.
I think it could be a lot of fun. I think it could be great for father, mother, daughter, teenager, great things for people that can do something like that. And I'm hopeful that I'll get a couple volunteers for them. I'm afraid I won't fit into them, so. All right, we're gonna have a cakewalk, so we will be asking for donated baked goods for our cakewalk. Steve Kissel, if you know him, he is the resident that recently moved in here, not that long ago, maybe a year or so. And he will be the magician. He's the one that also got us the balloon sculpturist and the face painter. So I'm super excited about that. Please support him in his efforts. A few residents have asked me to consider having a Halloween fun house. I am awaiting some sort of response on that endeavor. I know that they're working out there to see if they can get somebody to help on that. The festival, we end with 2 pinatas. I just finished my first pinata last night. I'm working on the second one. We have one for the littlest and we have one for the olders. October 31st, instead of house to house, we will have trunk or treat. I have been told that families go downtown to participate in those things, so we'll probably have kind of an early one. I'm looking for feedback on that. I'm still looking for help on that. I have our activity, I'm sorry, it's just a mess. I put that together way too quickly. But it does indicate that we're gonna have a trunk or treat. There's some ideas on there of different trunks. I see a lot of people really and truly, they use dollar store plastic tablecloths, paper plates with eyeballs printed on them. Just very inexpensive, just to do a little fun thing for your car. My concern right now is I'm gonna get 3 cars that participate. I don't wanna use the whole parking lot for something for that. So I'm looking for a head count on that to determine whether we'll have it in front of the office area or whether we'll hold it here in the clubhouse. If I get 20 cars, they're gonna come here. If I only get 5 or 6 cars, I'm gonna go to the office, if you understand what I'm trying to do. Yes, Sam?
I would suggest you have it in front of the state house because if you have a bunch of cars coming in here to drop kids off and then try to get cars out, you have a bottleneck. You wouldn't have
I
enough
cars backing up to leave when they're out of candy and still possibly having a smaller area where kids are congregated in the road. So I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I'm thinking of all of these situations, and if I can do it here, and I have a parking area where people drop the kids off, and the trunk and treat area closer to the
Normally you
clubhouse.
just drive through, let the kids run through all the trunk, jump back in your car and head to the next one.
We've had it in
I've never
front of
done
the
it,
gatehouse
so I don't
before.
It'll be a learning experience for me. But anyway, I'm looking for a head count. I do have sign-up sheets back there, just to give me an idea, yes or no. We're attempting to get the clubhouse flooring repaired. Some of the material did not adhere properly, you probably noticed. And so I have put a lot of the activities still on hold. I'm not doing potluck dinners. At this point, I just don't know what the contractor schedule is yet. So that's where I'm at on that. That's all I got. Yes.
May I, yeah, I'd like to just say, last night I was talking to Shannon, and I was telling her that one of the things brought up in that Brando letter was that it seems that we're using the clubhouse as a rental too much, and that if the clubhouse is for the people. And I just feel like I need to speak up on that. My house is right next door. So I've had that property since '03. I have witnessed many clubhouse rental parties, just from my back door, my side porch. So I see the comings and goings, and I'm here to say that I have never had an issue with the crowds of people that have been here for their parties, their weddings, their receptions, their birthdays, their gender reveals, whatever. I enjoy knowing that this beautiful space is being used. And I think that for us to continue to do, I know there's not been a question of not renting, but that letter did raise that issue. I think we do need to continue renting as we can. It's a great source of income. I want to thank you for all you have done in making all of that happen. I will say that I have made 2 complaints only about all those parties in all of these 20 years, and that was when folks would come with their dogs and leave them tied up in the sun out there, here in the park, which is good. So thank you, and I
You're very,
think
very
parties are a
welcome.
good thing.
I appreciate your feedback a lot. Feedback really means a lot to me. I try to listen to everything. I'm sure you've heard me say before, I'll think about that, I stick it in my back pocket. It might not get acted on immediately, but it's always in my back pocket for a consideration down the road. So appreciate that. But I am glad you brought it up because I do keep a tally of members, associate members, and non-members of who rents, because I've heard that complaint also, that we're giving it up to people who don't belong here. As of August 31st, 22 members have rented. 10 associates have rented. That's 32 member associates. 5 non-members have rented.
But when a non-member rents, don't the bylaws say that they have to have a sponsor member, a member sponsor?
Associate memberships have to have a sponsor. But we have traditionally rented to people who have absolutely no background.
Oh, okay, which is okay.
Which we have talked about before, like why are we letting just anybody come in here without some sort of vetting? But we do, but most of them, if we be realistic, most of them are churches because they're under renovation. American Legion is looking to us in case when they have their renovation on their auditorium coming up, their gymnasium coming up. But most of it's churches, Bible study groups. Most of them are not outdoor people. Most of them have had history here, have had summers here. It's not like
we've had a lot of, John Holt, the high school reunions.
next director would wanna look into that a little bit stronger.
And I especially like it when they have music.
I know, I think our community, our whole community needs a lot more music. I have asked, for like just jam sessions. I think jam sessions in the park would be kind of fun. And everybody tells me there's too many hats. I'm like, okay.
Okay, Sam, you ready?
Feel good
Oh, you
before
won't,
me.
oh, excuse me, Bill.
Okay,
It doesn't matter.
I'll be
Don't
quick.
matter.
All right, as we heard a couple hundred times, next Saturday, traffic roadside pickup, we're following with the North Carolina statewide cleanup. Theirs runs from the 13th to the 27th, so we'll do ours next Saturday, 9 o'clock at the gatehouse. Invite your friends to come with you, keep our neighborhood safe and free.
What is it gonna be, community cleanup, did you say?
Yeah.
Roadside cleanup,
Pick up, trash pick up.
Here, here.
yes ma'am, all through Arrowhead. The only other thing I would have, we're not cutting no trees down next year, I'd like to start tree replenishment, to put trees back into the park. And to do that and work with a vision, I'm gonna try next year to get a landscape designer to come in and look at our property, see what they can do with it, what they can suggest that we can do. And that way we can put it back out to the community to see what you want in the park. Would you like to see a setting area here, or maybe a water feature, or something like that? So if we get a professional designer to come in and look at this whole area, that will help Kathy in the long range plan. We can provide what we're gonna do over this year, next year, to improve our park.
I have a question about that, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Why would you do that when we have a professional landscape designer here?
What do they call it? Conflicts, maybe? That's what I'm thinking. I don't want nothing to look at as a conflict.
Okay.
That's the way I am, I'm sorry. I don't like conflict, I get too watching for the conflict. All right.
Mark, Bill, you're up.
Not much. Me and James took the Kubota, we finally got some new front tires for Kubota, it only took 4 months for Nexus to get them for us. But me and James went and decided we were gonna change them. That was a project in itself, getting the little bitty tires off the little bitty rims, they were stiff. But anyhow, Kubota's got new front tires on, so now it drives a little bit better. Over in the woman's bathroom over there, there was a couple of shower valves that was leaking like a sieve, and I thought we had PVC in there, and it was all copper. Anyhow, I had plumbing company come in, the valves are now fixed where we don't need to call a plumber to change them anymore. They've got unions on them, so they leak, we can undo the unions, but pull it out, put the unions back on, put the valves back in. So it costs more to get them done right now, but down the road, we save money by not having to call a plumber to do it. The one faucet out front of the office that was connected to the water line going into the office that we couldn't turn off last year, we had a moving blanket over in a bucket. That one now has a shut-off valve with a bleeder on it, so we can turn that one off and not have any problems over there. I'll close up the bathrooms over there when it gets cold. Right now it's okay. Sometime probably end of October, November, when it gets cold, I'll close them up and winterize them. Like Lynn said, we came over here Tuesday because we had a report there was a bug in the ice, and I looked at the ice machine, and 2 months when I looked at it, it was clean. I looked at it, and got a hold of Sam, we dumped 350 pounds of ice out back, sprayed it all down, and took all the plastic components out that we get. Some of the places in there look the same color as the backs on those chairs. So we got some powerful cleaner out, and we scrubbed it down with scrubbies, and washed it down with hot water afterwards. Ran a couple of cycles of ice through it, and ran those down the drain with water. And it's all nice and clean, got nice ice you can eat, you're not gonna get sick no more. And for the next thing, I will make sure I have descaler, because I've taken straight some calcium out the bottom 2 rows, there's a square thing in there that's divided up, and down at the bottom 2 rows had some calcium one's last mowing, they mowed the park here on Thursday. They'll be out doing the roads. The roads haven't grown too much, so, I told them if you see them, the grass is down less than 3 inches or cutting, just go past it. There's a few places that goes up 6 inches in a day, so they'll be doing that, But this is their last mowing since the grass is not doing much. We got the zero turn in the Kubota, so we take care of the park here that gets up and out on the few streets. And now that I know we can get a zero turn down the side of this fence, we can do that a little bit easier than the last time James took the weed eater and cut all that area. There is a new contract up on our webpage, and Jackie done a phenomenal work in putting that up there where the front page looks nice with a bid on it. I've told Green Goblin, I told, Lazy Weekend, I've told, the guys that do the Harry's, I've told them there's a thing up there. If anybody sees somebody mowing out here, let them know that there's a contract out there. And if they wanna know what to mow, they can contact me, I'll carry them around in my, golf cart and show them. It's not an easy task. Sam usually mows the other side, and that's a 4 or 5 hour job over there. I've mowed this side quite a few times, and I've only mowed for 4 or 5 hours, and it takes 2 days to mow this side at 4 or 5 hours a day with one mower, so, it's not an easy, and that's not taking weed eaters and trimming around the mailboxes. I usually can get the zero turn around them pretty close, but, it's not an easy task for any company to mow. Green Goblin has 4 mowers that they use, so, and it takes them only 2 days to do the park on the road, so, anybody that you ask, just tell them to contact us first. Volunteer labor hours for August, me and James was 95 hours, so those are 95. And they had an advertisement in 2022 to put on the budget for a part-time employee of $15 an hour, so you can figure if we were paying somebody, there's a lot of money that would be going. That's all I got.
I have
Go ahead, Vic.
on Cayuga, Cayuga, midway, it goes from Mojave to Blackfoot. Midway, in that strip, is a mattress thrown off of the side of the road, but you can see it from the road. It looks like, it just makes that neighborhood look ghetto. I can't believe those neighbors had just let it stay there.
Yeah,
Do you think you guys could pick it up and get it to the dump?
We can, put it on when I pick trash up, I can write that address down, the state's supposed to come through here and pick stuff up like that, we can handle
Would you
it.
please, it's, on Cayuga, in between Blackfoot and Mojave, as you're going towards,
Right at Purple though.
yeah.
I'll look, I'll get their address, some of the times they picked up what I requested on my form, I had to fill a form out after I do the trash pickup, anything big and large that we can't pick up, the state is supposed to come by and
This
pick
is,
it up, so I'll file for it.
this is not in a person's yard, but in an area that's overgrown.
As long as it's on the state property from Turner Road out, we'll look.
The people that's been going around taking, and they sprayed a bunch of this vines on a bunch of these roads where they're fixing to put, new fiber optics in. And I've seen a few, zunite, there's a bunch of new dead brush where they sprayed it with weed killer, and a bunch of those, slag-filled roads down there. And Cayuga is one of them. You see a lot of dead foliage over on the right-hand side of that road. That's where they sprayed stuff in there.
That's not what I'm reporting. I'm reporting a mattress.
That mattress, I had to mow around it once. It's-
Why, yeah,
I didn't have enough, you know how much that mattress weighed? I tried to pull it with the Kubota, and the Kubota wouldn't touch it, it was so heavy.
but you'll report that to the state or something?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't, if I lived on that road, I would figure it out a way to
That's
get
on
rid
the
of it.
state's property.
It just looks like
I was gonna pick it up at Kubota, but it was so wet, the front end of the Kubota wanted to dip down. Cause I didn't have a
Thank you.
thing on the back of it, so.
Jacqueline, you do have a report for us?
Yes, for the period of, August, I apologize, I did send a report, but we had some communication problems between my internet and the president's internet, but anyway, for reporting from August 11th through 9/5, we had a total of 297 sessions on our website, of which 189 were unique visitors, and which equates to 108 were return visitors from within the community. So that's a good thing. I don't always wanna put focus on the unique visitors. It's important to me to know that the community is also looking at this. So that was my report for that month, and I didn't bring those numbers for the month of July through August, but I was out celebrating my 70th.
Good for you. Okay, now if I've covered all the committee reports, old business, anything that we need to discuss? Leslie? Are you waiting a
You
minute?
didn't ask for office staff.
I'm sorry, office report.
We're really important.
Please forgive me, office report.
All right, the reason I want to say something is because we decided among ourselves, the people in office, that we already give 3 days a week. And from the week before Thanksgiving, the last day being Friday before Thanksgiving week, until the end of December, we do not want to be obligated to come into the office anymore on those days. We have a right to, I think, spend some time with our families if we'd like to. That does not mean that we won't help, like Lynn, I will certainly be around. And anybody that wants to see us can see us, but we don't want to have to be there like 3 days a week, especially Friday nights. But we definitely know that we need to help Lynn with getting the stuff done for the clubhouse. But we would like to close the office the month of December and start back the first Tuesday in January.
Did you say the entire month of December?
Pardon?
Yes, that's what you said.
Yeah, I mean, we know that we need to be able to help you.
From Thanksgiving to the first of the
Yeah, the week before Thanksgiving. The last night we would work would be Thanksgiving evening the evening before Thanksgiving, the Friday before Thanksgiving, which would be like all of Thanksgiving week through all of New Year's week. If anybody has any objection, just let us know and we'll talk about it.
Leslie, I don't have an objection, but I just think that for that period, I get a lot of hits from the community and outside of the community, people contacting the website. I basically pull it up, respond, and then I forward it to the office. So my only question, we can talk about that later, about how you guys want to handle that. I can still send, because I always send it through email. So you don't have to be in the office to look at the email, but maybe we can think of something.
Yeah, I mean, and again,
Put it on the website.
at least I will be
Put it
in the
on
community.
website that the office will be
Oh,
closed.
sure. Just let me know the official dates and
And we'll pick up messages, we
Yeah.
can always stop in quickly, pick up messages.
Right.
We could do
And,
that.
Well,
and we do
but I
that
always send
now.
my
Right.
email.
Right.
And I also want to mention that everybody that comes into the office is really glad to see us. We get a lot more, Becky and I always got some in the daytime, and Helga, I'm sure, and Melissa did. But on Friday evenings, they're very happy to see us. And actually, we began to wonder if people were just coming to the office for something to do on a Friday night. But a lot of people come in, and they're happy that the office is open those nights. But we really feel as though we need to have some time to ourselves now and then. And if anybody has an objection, tell us the days you think that we should be there, and I certainly will do what I can. I think Helga will.
Sure. Somebody do need something.
Becky will. Karen will.
It always gives you a call about somebody's situation.
Why he asked me to say anything? You know,
But I
I'm
do
shut
think
up.
there was something niggling in the back of my head, maybe in the bylaws about Bill, can you help me? Is there something in the bylaws that's kind of niggling in the back of my head about the office being open, we have to be open for business? Can you think about that?
I'll be happy to be in the office on certain days to help the volunteers so we can have a good family time for the holidays.
Can I just look at that, ladies, to make sure? I'll check it.
Yeah, we'll move on while y'all are looking at that. if
I
that's okay.
personally, appreciate everything you guys do in the office, and I'd love to see you take your time off.
Yeah.
I would be honest, but I wanna make sure we're within the bylaws now, because that's our new focus.
Alright, okay, old business, anything that we tabled, Jacqueline already gave a report, didn't you?
Okay.
Old business, new business. Yes, new business.
I suggest that we think about purchasing our own camera to record these meetings. We can record our Wednesday meetings, and we can record Saturday meetings that we do, special meetings. and
This
then
is
we-
that's our
I would
property.
suggest we go with a more professional, not an iPad, just because we can move it, do different things. That way we can have the meetings on our website recorded. It's just something to think about. Not grading from,
Okay. We'll put that down for, under the long range plan. But for now, that will work,
yeah,
right?
yes, for now, I'm talking about.
Yeah, under old business, I'm sorry, I was scribbling. We had mentioned in our last minute, we said we're gonna have this special meeting on, are we gonna just address that particular issue?
Does anybody think we need to have a special meeting to talk about the letters?
No, we already discussed that later on.
You feel it's all been discussed to your satisfaction so far?
The people that would have been wanting more of that are not here.
They're already posted online, while this meeting's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really, so somebody's posting online right now
Right
about
now.
what's happening
Right,
right
and
now?
I sent back a message telling them you should be down here.
That's good, yeah.
How are they knowing what's even being spoken about here?
Well, no, they're
From
just going over
Wednesday.
the list.
I think
Oh,
there's
okay.
some stuff from Wednesday's meeting, I guess. I don't know.
So it's not
So,
the background.
Does anybody on the board or in this present group think we need to have a special meeting to hash out any more of that? Okay.
We'll wait till the next letter comes out and we'll talk about that.
We're moving forward. I mean, if you don't get anything out of today's meeting, except that the past is past and the present is present, and we're moving forward, and, I would hope that, y'all are out there, talking to people, but talk to people and tell them we're moving forward,
Can I say one more thing? I was asked by a resident to make this announcement that, and I do believe that the whole board is on board with this, that the community deserves a voice. And the community is kind of under the historical impression that the community does not have a voice. We want the community to have a voice. And we really would like it if this is my part, Dad said her part. So the resident requested that I tell you all that we want you to have a voice. My part is, we would prefer to have the voice before we have disgruntled neighbors. So maybe speak up as it comes to you, and let's not let it simmer and boil and become a problem. Let's just communicate. That's my part. Thank you.
Thank you.
Update on this floor over here,
On what?
on our floor over here.
Oh, is this old business?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, this way, the contractor that put the floor in is gonna come back and completely redo from about here where these posts are over to that wall. Sometime in the winter time where he can take a week to do it where there's nothing running, so that whole side's gonna come out and be completely redone, no cost to us.
Okay.
So that's in the works. He's already planned on doing that, just so that people know, no extra money. He's gonna do whatever it needs to make that side match this.
Thank speed bumps, but then there's all these reasons why you can't do that. Kitty's not here today to report, but you know, she gave a report last month maybe about the average speed, and I know Low Hobby is the longest racetrack.
Oh, yeah.
Pocahontas is.
Oh, Pocahontas, well,
Oh, right in front of Wendy's house, you can really get on it.
so,
But it's not just people who live here, it's the delivery trucks too.
oh yeah, and the school buses.
School buses, delivery trucks, and
I
people
A
pulling
lot of
stuff.
traffic between here and Chewan Beach on Pocahontas.
Yeah.
Goes quick.
The fire trucks that come in the other day was going slow than the people who drive through this.
I was surprised by Kitty's report, last meeting.
Yeah.
I would have thought there was a lot more speeding in here than there is. I don't have it right on hand here, but, the numbers that you got from the, sheriff's department showed that there's not, well, there is a low percentage of speeding. What is speeding? The sheriff's department considers anything at 10 miles an hour or more over the speed limit. Okay, so 25, so more than 35 miles an hour, I believe was a single digit percentage, which is a good thing. Now, can we improve that? One person's opinion is, yeah, I think we can improve that. If we think we need to improve that, then you ask the police to come in here more, set up radar, and write tickets. And as I think the gentleman said back there, the folks that are gonna get the tickets are us.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to know that in advance.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, I'm very conscious of my speed in here, and I think everybody else should be. But I was pleasantly surprised with the low percentage of speeders. That's not saying that there aren't any, and speeding is a bad thing in my opinion, but if you want to improve it, you gotta ask the police to come in here and write tickets, and that'll do it. Because they wrote very few tickets, I don't think they wrote any tickets.
Jacqueline?
Yeah, just kind of detail real quick. That report was based on the radar thing they had set up on the hatch.
Yeah.
That's why. That's the first thing. Second thing, to go back to you about posting of the recording. Eric and I, what we had to do, we had to set it up on YouTube because the file is so large. And we can continue, so regardless of whether you get new equipment or old equipment, it's still gonna have to go on YouTube in order for it to be put on the website, okay?
I put on my website's unlimited everything.
Yeah.
With regards to speeding, I was a police officer for 34 years, so I dealt with a lot of these issues. One thing that could be done possibly is, it would be, it's tougher for the police officers to be here when things are happening. You know, they get a lot of other calls.
Right.
Maybe look into our own device that we can set up and mount your speeds with. You can buy them online.
We need fast car.
It's basically a radar unit that's on a sign, just like they had here on wheels, you can get one of those that you can attach to a telephone pole or put on a pole and move it around the.
Okay, so it can be moved around.
So
I
you
think
can
that,
bring up-
yeah.
That's a
Could you do
possibility.
some
There's-
research to find out some pricing and
Yeah,
stuff on
you're
that?
probably talking about a couple $1,000.
Yeah, well, we're doing long range
We got
planning.
Wayne Hertford going into Hertford.
The legality of it.
And you also have to check with the, local department, police department. Maybe
Yeah.
that
Yeah, you're gonna
you
have to have
might
police in on
pay-
that.
pay one of those.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
Record your license plate?
No, you do that, but these would be just simply, gather
So it's
information.
gathering.
Tell you the speeds, the times of the violation, and all the statistics that she had mentioned, you can get a lot of that information.
Tell you how they do this in Europe, it's called fast car. They put a little unit out there on the side of the road, it's got 2 cameras in it, it's got a clock in it, and it has a radar unit in it. So this unit sits out there, it's got a camera aimed at a certain height for license plates, and it's got another camera aimed up so that it takes a picture of who's sitting behind the windshield of the drivers.
Do we have any enforcement with that though?
Yes, there is, in Europe, they send you a little ticket in the mail.
Yeah.
They can do the same thing here. And
think it's a deterrent.
They're
It's a deterrent if you see that thing up there showing.
They
the
don't know
speed.
if it's the police department setting it up or if it's.
Right.
As long as you gotta make sure it'd be okay with the,
Well, and the other thing you can do is if you see the truck or the vehicle, get the license plate and report them. I don't know, can you do that?
They go too fast.
They go.
You're going too fast.
It's still gonna be Thursday and they're not gonna be.
That's exactly.
That's why we need a photo somehow.
Even the photo.
But if it's showing that it's happening in a regularity at a certain time, then the officer can come at that time.
Yes, or if you have a plate number, the officer can actually contact the owner of the car and speak to the.
Just talk to them, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It might be their kid, somebody's kid, and they, need
They
to
don't know.
put it back in place.
They're $1,000 on Amazon, 800 to $1,000.
Cool. Okay,
Thanks, Mark.
that's on the list for, Long Range Plan.
They've got those fast car type units out in Missouri, so they're in the States, but not every place.
I think we also, I'm trying to make sure I'm covering all the bases here, need, a nominating committee to
Yeah, we
get
need-
prepared for next year, is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, we need that to get started, we need
I don't
to
hear
have
what you're saying.
stuff going in October.
So is there anyone currently here that, I know we have some past nominating committee members present. Would you raise your hand if you've done it in the past?
Where's Leslie?
Leslie, Karen, Wanda?
Yeah.
Okay, are y'all willing to serve again? That's a short committee. You get credit for being on a committee and it doesn't last very long.
That's what's so nice about
Jelly
this.
beans.
Are y'all willing to serve?
Yes, we.
Helga, yes. Wanda?
Yes.
Okay. Karen? Thank you. And Leslie,
Hi.
are you willing to serve on the nominating committee?
Why do we have to talk about it today?
Well, because it's on my list.
All right.
Sorry. You wanna let me
And a
know?
couple new faces would be nice.
It would be.
It's
Yeah.
nice when we get new opinions
Yeah.
and the way we do things.
Jacqueline, would you serve?
That's what you would do.
I'm looking at you and Mark. I mean, y'all are active and supportive and.
Come on, Jacqueline.
I'll serve.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark,
We need to get
Mark,
some
would you
new
want to
people
serve on
on
the
that
committee?
That's
It's just counting votes and
He's
certifying.
gonna be wearing granny pants, leave him
They
alone.
don't have to wear any funny costume.
Okay.
It's a good-
And Leslie, did you say yes?
Yeah, because we've got to have it, I think, I like
Anybody
the fact
else?
that new ones
It's
coming
a
in.
good committee and it, Becky, you want to serve on the nominating committee?
Bill.
Bill gets called in whether he wants to say it or not.
Becky,
Yeah.
going once, going twice.
My wife.
You can, okay. So Helga, Karen, Wanda, Leslie.
Maybe if you can ask Susan.
What happened to the
Jacqueline.
guys? I thought you said some guys were serving. I thought these two.
No, Mark can't.
Okay, all right.
I got 5 ladies, I got 5 ladies.
That's what I have.
Okay.
For the board, all in favor of this group as our nominating committee, please raise your hand. Okay. They are them.
You can add to that later or no?
Sure, yes, please let us know if anybody else would like to help. It's a good committee, and you've got seasoned people who can tell you how it goes. And you can read about it in the bylaws. And the next point of order is property owners' concerns. Have we addressed everybody here's concerns? Karen?
I'd just like to say something that was said by somebody in the audience the other night at the
Wednesday night?
planning meeting,
Uh-huh.
Wednesday night. And it made me realize too, we get in our little groups, our friends and all of that. And John Lillard said it, and I don't think he'll mind that I said that he said it. But this is a very eclectic community. And
Cliquish.
the people on the water, are sometimes viewed by people who, like John said, are struggling day to day.
Yeah.
Moms and dads, single moms, single dads, all of us are not as comfortable as other people are here. And I think as a group, we need to remember that. And, I mean, I'm not saying that you should let your yard fall apart and whatever, but maybe if they feel more comfortable, they might reach out. I don't know. Maybe I'm living in some glorious world. I was raised way back when. And, but I think we need to remember that at times. And when John said that, it really hit me that yes, we have, a lot of us have very nice lifestyles here, but there are some people who, they don't know where they're gonna get their next meal.
Right.
And it's true, you can see it.
Yes,
And not necessarily see it. You don't know,
Right.
always know
right,
who's in that position.
right.
And that's why I think this has been a very good meeting. And I think you have addressed a lot of concerns.
Thank you,
I do.
thank you. And please, again, as Lynn said, spread the word. Wendy will talk to anybody, anybody on this board. If you have a concern about anything and you don't feel comfortable talking to me, or you'd rather talk to Sam, there's somebody else for everybody. So please put that word out. And, I do think we all need to pledge to be good neighbors. Look out for each other. Build each other up. So, that kind of is how I would like for us to end the meeting and just pledge to do our part to make this, as Bill said in the opening, the best neighborhood it can be. And, it's up to us. Our whole world, nation is divided, and why is our neighborhood divided? We live here together in this small, beautiful community. Let's try to be an example for others. So there's always a few bad apples that stir the pot, but most of us are really, really nice, good people.
Yeah.
So, and I love living here.
Well, some people like to stir the pot and are nice people.
Well, sure, I'm a pot stirrer on occasion.
Just speaking.
Yes, oh. I think we can all be pot stirrers, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do that. Yeah. Anybody else have anything they want to say before we close? Thank you all for coming and for your kindness and kind words and for being supportive of us. It means a lot. Bill, will you close this out, please, sir?
Heavenly Father, we thank you again, Lord, for this wonderful community and neighborhood that you've allowed us to live in. We thank you for your guidance, and we thank you for all the property owner members that attend